All right, so hello everyone. Here I am so honored to have been given the opportunity to talk to Mr. David Zimmerman himself. I think I came across David a few years ago. He has had a pretty unique journey. Started off in the Swiss military with a mandatory course, but apparently he had a good time in terms of learning new things from that. Then I think eventually he moved on to the world of e-commerce, world of PPC management, and the world of Amazon through some big, large organizations like the Celix Group and the Razor Group. And then eventually he found himself in a position where he started his own entrepreneurial adventure sitting over there. And a fun fact, David is perhaps one of the most well-respected Amazon software reviewers out there. Probably not the only one, but definitely the most revered and most respected. I did come across David, just FYI, people are using your reviews for their own marketing. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. It's that, and that is the amount of weight that they place on what you have to say. Obviously, you have spent a vast amount of your time and resources in analyzing all the tools in the e-commerce space. So I think you would be a very unique person to kind of understand how e-commerce has evolved over time and where it is going. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks a lot for having me, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. And so how did you get into the world of e-commerce? Was it by chance? Did you find something interesting? And how has it been so far?
Yeah, you could say chance is pretty accurate. So I studied sports management, so something completely
Oh.
different.
Hmm.
I guess I was always kind of the competitive type, and that's the only kind of similarity that I have now in Amazon. Obviously, there's a lot of competition, and I like to compete in hard niches, I guess. And I also like to create competition, or not create, but I guess put it on display with the softwares and the software overviews.
Hmm.
So yeah, I guess that's the only kind of competition that's left from my studies
Hmm.
right now. And other than that, I don't know really how I ended up here. It's just, yeah, my first job at Celix, and then that's how it is.
What was your experience in Celix and Razor Group? What did you learn? What did you experience? And if there are any useful insights?
Yeah, I mean, Celix was quite unique. I mean, I was employee number six, so for me, it was,
Oh.
a great journey from six to like
Hmm.
150 employees. To see that, I
Hmm.
can recommend, to anybody to start at a work at a startup.
Hmm.
It gives you so much, the salary might not be
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
great as at other companies, but it gives you just so much more for the future. And then Razor Group, well, I guess that even was more extreme in a way because they grew from, like 20 to 400 people in 1 year. So that was
Mm.
the height of the aggregators.
Hmm.
So there too, yeah, learning a lot. It was, to be honest, a little bit too stressful.
Mm.
So I enjoyed the Celtics time a bit more, but still, you learn
Nice.
more the more, stressful it is, I guess. But
Hmm.
now I'm glad it's a little bit more relaxed and I'm on my own and I can do
Hmm.
whatever I want.
Whenever I speak to entrepreneurs or successful entrepreneurs in their niches, one of the things that they say is that I was so stressed at my previous work. I felt that I the ability for me to learn after a point was not there, and I felt that I needed more flexibility given the knowledge that you've gathered. So, is that a primary reason why you decided to venture out on your own? Was there some incident or something that happened that encouraged you to do that, and what made you convince yourself to take the risk to step out on your own?
Yeah, so to be very honest, I'm maybe not the very best at having a boss and following
Yeah,
orders.
yeah.
And so if your boss is maybe not,
Mm,
you know, the most collaborating type of boss and who wants his employees to, share ideas and come up with
yep,
ideas, and
yep.
yeah, then maybe that's not the best for me
Mm,
and for many people, I guess. And so yeah, I just wanted to give it a shot. Corona came around and I
mm.
was at home, homeless, I mean jobless. And yeah, I just wanted to give it a shot. And since then it's kind of been working out. And
Mm. Clearly. And what is when you started your entrepreneurship experience? Obviously, things were uncertain, things were up in the air. So what steps did you take to get that initial traction that you had?
Yeah, so YouTube was pretty
Mm,
much my big thing, and
mhm,
I guess I want to go back to that more again because
mm,
it opened so many doors for me. And the cool thing about YouTube is, unlike other social media ads, like these videos, they stay up there. If
forever.
you have a video,
Yep.
they're
Mhm,
gonna be ranking there forever, or at least 4 or 5 years.
mhm.
So I still get clients from that first PPC video, and
Oh.
they come to me, "Oh, you're such a geek, and we love that video, and we want to work with you."
Yeah.
And so with other social media posts, LinkedIn, the post stays up for one day basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just not the same.
Mhm.
So for anybody, YouTube is a great way to get started.
And I think advantage of YouTube is that it presents a very authentic self of yourself. I mean, there is only so many scripts that you can read and pretend to know. There will come a point where you will have to speak from your heart, speak from your mind, and that I think people can connect more closely with, and that's the reason, potentially why platforms like YouTube is quite powerful.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the you in the tube is important. They want to see
Yes.
you. Although,
Mhm,
to be honest, I'm still working on that. So I'm still working on becoming more natural in front of the camera, becoming more myself, showing more myself.
mhm,
Even after, 3 years, it's still not
mhm.
like where I want it to be. So, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah, of course. And I think you're doing a pretty good job, especially given the views that you're getting. People actually find useful in what you present. I think one interesting thing that kind of caught my attention early on was the fact that you started ranking the different tools in a very extensive way, in a very in detail, in-depth way, where you try to collect all these different softwares and try to rank them on these different aspects. How many software tools would you estimate you have you reviewed so far?
Oh God. I mean, it must be at around 200. And
Jesus.
then if you
200.
count the guys that I've, had interviews and demos twice or 3 times or 4 times with, well, it must be like
Multiply that.
things and demos. So,
Mhm.
uh, yeah.
Wow, that is. And I would assume each of them take at least an hour to know, learn, understand, and demo. It's like 200
At least,
hours of your life. That's
at
that's not
least.
a short time.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the rubrics or the different metrics of the different way that you rank different softwares? Did you come up on your own? Did you do research? Did you get inspired from somewhere? Like what happened?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's always the fun part in the beginning.
Mhm,
Come up with these features and see
mhm,
what I want first and foremost. Um, and then obviously just see what's around.
mhm,
What do the major tools have already? And
mhm,
then try to group that into features. Yeah, I don't really, yeah,
mhm, mhm.
I don't have a specific way of doing that. It's
Have there been any incidences where you have left a review or you have shared a review of a particular software and they have reached out to you to either explain further or to appreciate what you have said? Has any of that happened?
I mean, some people, of course, contact me later on and, ask why is that maybe only an a partly or a okay and not a super in my
Mm, mhm,
scoring.
mhm,
So I have had that. And
mhm,
as I always tell pretty much everybody, it's a relative thing. So if you were the only one that had that feature and it was, very limited, but you're the only one, then you're gonna get a yes or, a good, whatever. But since there are other people out there doing it better in this case for that particular feature,
mhm.
yeah, I'll try to be as factual as possible.
Got it. And since you have done so much Amazon or e-commerce software reviews, there are different aspects where software can help: advertising, probably listing, probably analysis, competitive research, keyword analysis. So there are so many aspects that can be helped through a software. In your opinion, is there something in e-commerce management that cannot be automated or a software cannot possibly help as well as a human can?
Oh, that's a good one. So in my opinion, there is basically nothing that eventually
Oh,
will be. we'll
Nice.
be able to automate. So
Mm,
not right now, obviously,
mm,
but I mean, you see where AI is going already after like 2 years, and
mm,
we're just at the very start of AI. So
mm,
in just maybe 10 years, it's going to be crazy what we'll be able to automate.
mm.
And yeah, will be very interesting to see which one of us will still be needed out
I
there.
would. It's funny
Uh,
because you're reviewing softwares that could potentially leave you jobless again,
yes.
which is
Or at least, have to change my jobs, force me to change my job basically. But
so
yeah.
force you to change your job. And with obviously the LLMs, GPT, AI, everything coming into the mainstream, I'm assuming that you would have seen a lot of the software companies either integrating it, either properly or claiming to integrate it in whatever capacity that they can to help it grow. So, in your opinion, looking ahead, do you think AI or LLM will play a major role in e-commerce management? And if so, in your opinion, where do you think it'll make the most impact?
I mean, probably with the whole data
Mm,
understanding and bringing together data points from different, sources, that is currently to me, and I guess to most people, the biggest struggle. And then not just bringing it together, but making AI make sense of it right away and telling you, okay, these are the action steps from this data.
mhm,
I could imagine that's kind of where it's going. And then eventually, not just telling you to take the actions, but actually doing it.
mhm,
But that's maybe
mhm.
yeah, another decade.
And one aspect that that I'm very passionate about is listing. I think that is one area where AI could play a big role because listing in a way is a art and a science. It's not
Mm.
just data, it's not just putting keywords. It's about understanding what the customer wants and trying to connect with your right customers. And at the same time, making sure that it adheres to all of Amazon's policies. It does not violate any issues that may come, and also using some kind of inherent knowledge to position your product so that you don't have to rely on ads to continue growing, which is a big pain point. So you have tested out Xena Foresight, or at least a beginning of what we envision where listing optimization could go. So in your opinion, do you think listing optimization is a way that could be potentially impacted by everything that's happening?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there are already tools, like you said, Xena yourself is doing it.
Hmm.
And to my surprise, already quite, well. It already reads like a human almost, sometimes perfectly. So there's really almost no reason anymore to have like a person write it manually. Of course, you'll always need that, manager or whatever to look over it in the end. But I mean, tools like Xena are already just extremely far, so, to my surprise. So yeah.
And one aspect of, since I've gone through your reviews of tool listing optimization, I think one gap in the market that exists that I don't think anyone is considering is maybe using the customer reviews to enhance the product listing, and not just your reviews. You can use your competitor reviews as well. So one example is that one of my customers, they received a review saying that, hey, I thought your product was scent free. It did not have a smell. But when I bought it, I was surprised that it had a smell. Now that the human aspect is that never in the listing have they mentioned that it is scent free. The customer just assumed that because this is the packaging, this is eco-friendly, maybe it does not have a smell. So that is just one example where they could use this knowledge to make it very obvious that it is scent free, included in the title, images, wherever. Or they can use this knowledge to launch a new product entirely which has a or which does not have a scent as well. So it's and this is from one review. Imagine what you can do with like a million reviews in that aspect.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy thought, especially, I mean, if AI can consider and compare all the things that you do and what they don't do well, your competitors, and
Hmm.
then somehow bring that together into bullet points and whatnot. And then at some point also into your images and
Hmm.
creating those images and the text for the images. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the dream. We're not so far away from that, I guess.
Yeah, I think, and plus, I think Amazon reviews are, even though there have been allegations that there's a lot of manipulation happening, a lot of click farms, but even with that, I think Amazon reviews are probably the best place on the planet to get real customer feedback on any product, because on your own website, you can put in anything you want. Your reviews may be not, may be biased. But on Amazon, probably at scale, it probably is the best way to get a good understanding of what the customer really likes about a product.
Yeah, absolutely. That's also why I love the insights in Product Opportunity Explorer.
Mhm.
I guess that's maybe what you're going to be using for Xena, yeah,
Mhm.
or are using, yeah. Yeah.
That's the plan. And you also are pretty well known in the industry for having a wonderful knowledge base in the form of Amazon PPC courses that you have yourself built. And I believe you started building before ChatGPT. So I know for a fact you put your heart and soul into this and you typed it out yourself. You did your research. So one, like, why did you come up with this? And second, what has the feedback that you have received from people who have purchased the course?
Yeah, so actually I just reached 1,000 sales on my Udemy
Wow,
beginner
1,000.
course, so that was a happy milestone.
Nice. Congrats.
Um,
Yeah, that's huge.
and in terms of why I started, actually now I can say it because Celix doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So back then we just had horrible, in my opinion, horrible best practices that we taught our customers.
Okay.
Basically just one automatic campaign and one manual campaign. And if you only have one manual campaign, that obviously means you're going to have all these different match types in that one manual campaign.
Yes.
And I mean, that was like 2016 or 17, I guess. But even I worked at Celix like 4 years. But even towards the end, we just stuck with that best practice just because it makes things easier.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to overcomplicate things, and we wanted them to use the software and yeah, not overcomplicate it. But it's obviously not a very good practice. It's one of the basic things you should not do.
Mhm,
So I just wanted to put some better knowledge out there.
mhm,
And yeah, that was kind of one of the reasons, one of the motivators. Yeah. And then with the advanced course that I have now, I just felt something like that didn't exist yet,
mhm,
um, actually a course that actually teaches you, how to scale, how to automate things, and how to make use of all these tools that are coming out there.
mhm.
So yeah.
And out of the 1,000 people who have purchased your course, like, who do you think the majority of them are? Are they brands themselves, or are they agencies? Are they freelancers? Like, who do you think are who find the most value in your course?
To be honest, I'm not sure about the beginner course for the 1,000. So there's loads of, I don't know, people that just want to,
Mhm,
get into Amazon PPC. I would assume it's probably mostly like freelancers and things like that. But for my main course, it's brands. So yeah, either they want to do it themselves or they want to understand PPC perfectly before they give it away to an agency, because that is, of course, also an important aspect of, I would say, entrepreneurship. Before you give something away, you should understand it.
yeah. And I have gone through different courses for myself and for my team. I think what was interesting about your course is that it is easy to understand. Learning the different aspects of e-commerce, it takes some time, because for us it'll be easier. We know what a broad match is, but for somebody who's trying to get in, it takes a little while to understand what a broad match is. When should we use it? When should we not use it? What is the implication? Is the CPC high, low? Like, these things, it comes naturally to us, but for a lot of people it does not. So I think your course, what it does is it makes it very simple for anyone to understand what the nuances are of all these different aspects of it. And that is what I think. It's very hard to make it easy because it's you feel like you want to say so much, but it's very hard. But that's I think one thing I like about your course.
Thank you.
Yeah. And going forward, what's your plan? What have you have in mind? And like you said, you don't want to be jobless, and nor do I want to be jobless. So what's up with David in the coming next few years?
Not sure about the years, but in terms of months,
Mm,
I'm just gonna be doing a little social media experiment
mhm.
because I've basically prepared around 240 days of reels.
What? That's
So that's
crazy.
one reel every day. And I'm gonna be seeing, which of the platforms work the best. TikTok, as long as it still exists,
Yeah, yeah.
US, and Instagram, and maybe even Facebook. And I have no idea about Facebook, to be honest, how to
Mm.
use it. I still know a lot of people use it. I just don't
Yeah.
know how, really. But yeah, YouTube Shorts. So I'm gonna see how it all works, and
Mhm.
yeah, just get back to ranking those softwares and maybe creating some new software overviews. I would definitely want to do pricing this year,
Mm.
all pricing automation tools,
Mhm.
and yeah, make updates to the existing ones.
Nice. And if you had the opportunity or the possibility to create a tool, what aspect of e-commerce management would you want to work on in the beginning? And if so, like, what would that tool look like?
I mean, a lot of people ask me, when am I coming out with my first tool and stuff? And
Yes. Mhm.
but honestly, since I see that there's so many good tools out there and so many good CEOs like yourself, so many smart people already building things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not one of them. I don't have to compete with them. So
Wow.
it's such a tough
It
market as well.
is.
So
But I think, like, I think every day, what is it, 2,000 new brands are joining Amazon.
yeah,
It's just
true.
massive. Like, even if we have like 10,000 different tools agencies,
Yeah.
I think
Well,
there's a lot of space.
maybe if AI becomes like really super and I can just,
Mm.
tell it what to build in some years, then I would probably just start with PPC, obviously,
PPC.
and try to build the perfect tool for my taste because it
Mm.
still doesn't exist. So
Yes.
yeah,
PPC software is a hit or a miss. People sometimes think of it as a way to make it easier. People sometimes don't understand how it works, so they just put everything there. Sometimes people think that, oh, you could do all these small things. How do you view PPC software as that, and like, what do you think is the main pain point that customers have regarding PPC on Amazon?
uh, so many little things. But yeah, just managing your keywords. So I
Yeah,
actually think
keywords.
data dive is kind of in SEO doing a good job with that.
Mhm.
Having your lists and being able to manage it, see what keywords are where and how you're already using them and how
Mhm.
they're affecting your account. And then to kind of bring that over to PPC, yeah,
Mhm.
that would be nice. Mm,
That would be. So basically, you want to be jobless. You want to create something that can take what you are doing and all your knowledge into something that can be scalable.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think like consulting will always be needed,
Yes.
and people want to be consulted by a human and not AI, I
Mhm.
hope. So we'll see.
That is true. I mean, people always want to talk to people. They want someone to ask questions to. I think they still feel that connection. Are you still focusing on your consulting business as well? Would that be the focus in the coming months as well?
Not focused, but yeah. I mean, it's just out there. People can book a call with me. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and you are also open to consulting for other software makers as well. So I think that's a really you. If anyone wants to talk to someone to know how to build a software, it should be you, because you do this kind of. You're known for this, and plus you spend so much hours in this platform or in analyzing the platforms. I think you're a good person for that.
Probably, yeah.
And yeah, and how's your personal life? How are things running out there? I'm sure people want to know you more.
Yeah, well, I just came back from Japan, so
Excellent.
that was a
Mm,
trip of a lifetime. I can
nice.
recommend it to anybody. Um, Apart from that, I did have a concussion. Maybe for those people that watch my last YouTube video, I did mention it in the YouTube video,
What happened?
and unfortunately, it's still kind of there. So that's that. Um,
That's not good.
I
Is
did have an MRT, so there's nothing visible. It's just taking longer than usual. I don't know, but I can't run around at the moment. Still get dizzy.
wow.
But I mean,
How did that happen? If you'll be able to share.
oh God, it's such an annoying story because I'm like, I play football a lot, the real
Okay,
football, not the American football.
of course it's.
So I'm a very careful and cautious player. And in all my years, I've basically never broken anything, never gotten really injured.
Mm,
And so, of course, it had to happen during the break, not during the
Yes.
game. And so we were standing around in the break, and someone was like shooting the balls at the goal really hard.
Oh,
People were standing in front of the goal, and yeah, he shot really hard at my back head. So yeah,
oh,
I wouldn't have expected that to last so long, but yeah,
that sucks. Imagine like if you had gotten hurt while playing, maybe that's okay, but this seems like a
yeah, so
accident.
unnecessary. Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you'll recover soon. Has that affected your work in any way?
I mean, maybe I'm not as attentive
Hmm.
because, for example, when you told me 2 days ago we're gonna have a call today, apparently I didn't catch the
Yeah.
moment when you said it's also going to be a recording. So
Got
I
it.
surprised when you told me just now, 20 minutes ago.
It's good. It's authentic. It's good. I'm
Yeah.
kind of gonna maybe I should stop telling people.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I'm fine when I'm sitting, so it's all good. Yeah.
Nice.
What about
And
you? What?
yeah, just moving along. I just had my first child
Oh,
last
really?
month.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's quite a feeling. I don't know if I'd prefer a concussion or not being able to sleep for more than 2 hours. So I don't know
Hmm.
which one I'll choose, but that's the situation.
That's very nice. Very
Uh,
nice.
and when people reach out to you, since again you're the expert, you're pretty well known in the industry, what is the one thing that they ask you the most? Like what pressing issues do you get asked?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, which software should I
Which
use
software to use? Yes, okay.
for X, Y, X? And
Uh-huh.
always I say it depends,
It depends.
and
Mhm.
yeah, look at my list. Obviously, there's some favorites out there who
Get
offer
my
a lot already, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Wow, I think given your expertise, you should consider some kind of a masterclass or a live session as well. I think people will find that really useful and fascinating, especially people who want to get into e-commerce, want to learn more. Apart from taking a course, of course, I think that would be a very, very useful thing. You should definitely consider doing that as well.
yeah, maybe.
I think, yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. But thanks again. Oh, yes, one more question. In the Amazon seller community, there is a lot of talk about the increasing fees that Amazon is charging. They are a monopoly. They can do whatever the hell they want, obviously, because of everything that they have built up so far. Have you heard any pushback, or have your customers or people, brands you have worked with, faced issues regarding that aspect of it?
I mean, not yet because they've postponed.
Yeah.
But yes, I've obviously heard pushback from that. So uh, yeah, there's already tools of building features around that. I don't know how fishy some of these are, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, I think that's it. Just kind of highlights again the importance of having products with good margins,
Whew.
um,
Yeah.
because the margins aren't only going one way on Amazon.
That's true. That's true. And even I think my Amazon guy Steven had started a brand, and he had to shut it down. And he was very vocal about that. And one of the reasons that the
Um,
brand had to not shut it down, I think he sold it. He said that the margins did not make sense. Plus, Amazon was in a habit of delisting, deranking, which can get annoying to a lot of sellers. I think that's the reason he decided to step away or sell his brand, which was an interesting development.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for your time, David. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.